Okay, we're getting ready to have some Huang Shan Mao Feng. I think that's how you say it. And I've never had this tea before. And sometimes the first two words, Huang Shan, are put together. So if you see tea that you're buying where this word is put together and the Mao Feng is put together, so it's only two words, that is actually the same tea. So this shows April 2022 was when it was picked, and this is October 2023. We bought this earlier this year. It says it's fresh till May 2027. And it's got fuzzy tea buds. Here's our first peek in the bag. The first thing we do is smell the tea straight from the bag. And it smells good. I'm trying to decide what it smells like. Okay, what did you smell?
Well, it smells something that smells more like cocoa powder.
Cocoa powder?
Yeah.
Chocolate?
I don't know if it's chocolate, but something.
You always think everything smells like chocolate.
That's the way it should be.
Okay, well, I got, first of all, sweet, very sweet smelling. I was thinking since it's so green that I would get grass, but I didn't get any grass, so that surprised me. And then, so then I went with fruit. So it does say on the package here, it says soft notes of lychee, but I think the fig lychee is what I'm smelling, and that's about all I'm smelling. And it's not soft, it's very strong, but these notes are about taste, and I'm smelling. It smells really good. Okay, I'm loving how this tea looks. It's supposed to be one bud and one leaf, and I think that's what we see here. See, there's two. And they're very long and thin. I love that you can see how it came straight off the bush. It definitely looks hand-picked. I'm reading that this is a baked tea. Ooh, look at this one. And I think we're going to see some fur on the buds. Look at that. Very, very cool. So I got my water. Oh, it just changed to 169 when I turned it on. So I've got my water set at 170. And to kind of emulate using a gaiwan, I've barely covered the tea leaves, and we're going to do a very short steep, and I'm going to decant it. So we've got super pale liquid. Of course, we only did like a 10-second steep, but it's super clear. See, here it is in my cup. Let's put it closer to the leaves. There you go. Very, very clear. I'm anxious to try it. Okay, let's take a sip and decide on body. Ooh, that's got an interesting taste. Body is light. So now stringency.
Not tasting that.
None, zero. That's good, but we're only at 10 seconds. Okay, what did you taste?
I tasted somewhat vegetable and a little bit creamy.
Vegetable?
Vegetable.
There's a difference between vegetable and vegetable. Vegetable or vegetal. What do you think?
Vegetable and creamy.
What kind of vegetable?
I'm not sure. Greens. I say greens like green beans or something like that.
No, not green beans.
Yeah.
You don't eat vegetables very often.
I see them in pictures.
Yeah, that's why you're identifying with green beans, the one you would normally eat. So I did get vegetal too, but like the Yeah, sweet. It's still sweet. It's very sweet. That was, I think, what I first got, like some sweetness in the back corner, both back corners of my tongue. That's where the flavor seemed to reside, in the back of uh, my jawline, back there. And I think the sweetness still might be lychee, so it could be a combination of some sort of vegetal and lychee. I think there's the hint of creaminess. The package says buttery, and I'm thinking I have to steep it longer to get the buttery. I don't know, I'm not sure. Okay, so what I just wrote down as I was pondering was, I think the buttery is there, but it's in the mouth feel instead of the flavor. I don't really get the creaminess in the flavor, but I definitely get it in the way it makes my mouth feel.
Right.
Yeah. It's more in the texture than it is the
actual flavor.
The actual flavor.
I agree.
Okay, so we're gonna taste for the finish.
To the finish.
There's some lingering, the sweetness lingers. I think that's where a lot of the taste is in the finish. Is it juicy and mouth-watering?
It is a bit for me. I let it set before I swallowed it, and it does make my mouth water a bit.
So it has a lingering sweetness and a little bit of juiciness.
Yes.
Okay, about a 20-second steep. Still very clear, a little bit more yellow. Here's what the leaves look like. Wow, they're gorgeous. Look at the green. And we forgot to smell the wet, so we're going to do that now. Okay, what did you decide about the wet?
Well, I'm struggling a bit. It has a sweet aroma. It's like something you baked. I don't know if it's toffee or maple or what, but...
Maple? No way.
No way, maple. No maple. But anyway, it's like something you bake. I don't know. It's hard for me to put a finger on it.
Well, I got grass. I love this. Look at that. I finally pulled it apart. You can't see them. They're not totally unraveled yet. But they are like one bud and one leaf straight off the tree, off the tea bush. I love picking at my tea and looking at it. Check that out. That's a bud, but that looks like a stem as well. But they're hand plucked, so that's so cool. The yellow is in the fabric. It's not dirty. Very, very cool. Look at that. One bud and one leaf. I don't know if I can see any fuzziness. I thought I might see fuzziness. Yeah, but all I smell is definitely just grass. The lychee fruity smell that I got before in the dry is gone. Before we do our tasting for the second steep, I want to say that the Huang Shan means yellow mountain, and that's actually the name of a mountain range in China, which is so cool. So often teas are named after where they're from, and then the Mao Feng is for Fir Peak. So I thought with that name we might have fuzz on the leaves, and so far I don't see fuzz on the leaves. Usually you get that when you have buds.
Yes.
You get that. And so sometimes they're up in the mountains, and sometimes they're at the base of the mountains. In the Xi County Anhui precinct or district or whatever, on the website is actually a picture of the grower, which is super cool. And there's the name of the actual grower. I love that when websites do this and you can actually see the person who grows it and the actual tea field where it comes from. So I've also been reading that the leaves are needle-like. They definitely are needle-like because they're really unshaped. They're basically just baked in an oven or dried in an oven. That's why it's so green, because they do that early on to stop the oxidation. And it's not like pan-fired, or it's just baked, they say dried in the oven. And then, withered. And I did read another website that said slow roast, but that'd be the same as just putting it in an oven and letting it very slowly dry. So there's not a whole lot of processing to this. So we get a real genuine, straight from the bush leaf. That's kind of cool, huh?
It is.
It's considered one of China's most famous teas. And I looked it up. The website says it's 800 meters above sea level. And I Googled that, is that high? And I found some other places in China where it's more like closer to 3,000. And so 800 is not really all that high, even though it's called a yellow mountain tea. So it could be that this is more at the base of the mountain, like some other websites. Okay, let's pour ourselves a second cup.
Yes.
Take a picture of this for my journaling notes. It's kind of more yellow like the mountain. Let's see, I would need to do like this. There we go, I like that one. Okay, so we're gonna do body first. See if it's changed, it was light. Still light. Oh, I pick up more of that buttery, creamy texture now.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's the mouthfeel. Okay, so that's not changed. It's still light body. What about astringency?
Not getting any of that.
Yeah, it's almost non-existent still, which is good because we don't like astringency.
That is correct.
Okay, so now let's consider flavor. Has the flavor changed at all? Can we do that without pausing the video?
For me, it has not.
I think it's more buttery, creamy,
Possibly.
like the package says.
It has a light look of butter.
It's
becoming somewhat more yellow, like you said. So.
Yeah, because it was a longer steep.
Yes.
But
Yellow Mountain Jello tea.
So it is more buttery. What about finish? Is it still? Let's see. We put the sweetness was lingering, and it was a juicy and mouth-watering. What do you think, finish?
I still think it's the same. Especially if I let it set in my mouth for a second.
It's a little bit more stringent in the finish, a little bit. But yeah, that buttery flavor is in the finish.
I agree.
And it's a little bit juicy, but not real juicy. I mean, I've had some that just make me really mouth water.
Right.
But this one doesn't do that quite as much. So the flavor, I got grass a lot the first time.
Yeah.
And this time I'm just getting more of the cream, like the package says. I get the fruit is like gone for me.
Yeah.
I do have the grass. I think the grass is maybe in the finish.
Yeah. I did not.
In the lingering. That's what it is. I'm detecting when I said it was astringent in the finish, I think it was really the grassy flavor in the finish.
Possibly. It's good.
It's actually pretty good.
It's enjoyable.
I do get a vegetable, like you said, and I can't decide what vegetable.
Yeah.
I said it was grass. Have I ever eaten grass? I'm sure I've stuck grass in my mouth before.
Well, if you eat grass, I'm going to put the mower away.
So, yeah, like asparagus, maybe? It might be asparagus that I'm thinking. Okay, we did it for about a full minute. Next time I'm going to do it a little bit longer. What's the package say? It doesn't say how long. So the website says 2 to 3 minutes at 170. You see I got the 170. Oh, there it goes. It changes when I put the camera on it. So let's taste this second one. Shall I pour you some?
Please.
Ooh, it's good and warm. All right, let's see if any of the things have changed. Will you start with body and what's the second thing? Astringency. Let's see if that's changed. Nope. Okay. So I think we'll do the full 2 to 3 or 3 minutes. I'll time it for the next one to see if we'll test that astringency. What about flavor? The second steep was best. This is much more subtle.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems to be waning a bit.
Yeah, it's almost like drinking water.
Yeah.
It needs to be steeped longer now. I'm not getting as much flavor. Either that or my tongue is getting used to it.
I'm still getting flavor.
Yeah, I am too.
It's not as prominent as it was.
This is a great spring tea, and this is October 21st, and I've had this for a while, and that's why I wanted to do this one before the other ones, because I'm not going to want to do this in the middle of winter, because in my mind, the tea like this needs to be done in the spring.
I would agree with that.
And on the website, the owner does suggest trying this, leaving the leaves in the glass, a tall glass, so we'll do that, kind of like Longjing. And that's one of my favorite things to do with tea, very relaxing. So we're going to try that after the third steep. In fact, I might put fresh leaves in it. Okay, here goes third steep. Okay, so this is a full 3 minutes we're going to taste. We're going to see if it's a forgiving tea. If it's a forgiving tea, it'll be great, what they call grandpa style in a cup. Yeah, and we can look at the leaves a little closer. Sweet. Look how nice and green they are, and they're really fully opened up. Okay, here goes. Oh, definitely forgiving tea.
Yes.
Yeah, what was it you said earlier off camera? It almost tastes like what kind of flavored water? Is that what you said?
Flavored water, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely forgiving tea. Definitely. It tastes great, but like this is like a tea that reminds me, like a lot of times you want to have tea and cookies or biscuits or, I wouldn't want sweets with this tea. I think this tea would go good with like something subtle flavored like eggs, scrambled eggs and toast maybe.
Yeah.
Not chocolate. I don't think it would be good with chocolate.
Chocolate and bacon go with everything.
No. No, I think it's somebody's pounding outside the window at a neighbor's house. It's what?
A nuanced tea.
A nuanced tea.
Yes.
Great for spring.
Yes. I mean, it's light. It's gentle. The flavor is it's not overpowering, overbearing. So if you're eating something with it, you get the taste of the food and the taste of the tea. So
it would be good with vegetables. It would be good with savory foods more than sweets, I think.
Yeah. But, like you talked about breakfast to toast and things like that.
But even steak or something.
Yes.
Like just savory foods, not... makes me wonder if this tea hasn't got umami in it. How beautiful the leaves. I mean, well, this one is just one. I pulled up... This is the old ones I pulled out. And this is some I pulled out and I've pulled from it. This one has got just the one bud. Look at this one's got these 2 leaves. There might be another one down on the end. There it is. Look at that. And this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves. So I think that might be a bud and 3 leaves. And this one has, but I love that it's like right straight off the bush.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's so cool. Only I get excited about doing tea tastings where I pull the leaves out and it looks like it's come straight off the bush. Here's where it looks before you brew it up. And then it turns into this. Awesome, cool, huh?
Very cool.
Okay, we're going to drink it Grandpa style. Our water's warming up. But while we're doing that, how many hearts would you give it?
I would give it 3 hearts.
3 hearts? I went with 3.5. So 3 is I liked it. I might buy it again. I think I would definitely buy it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing wrong with the tea. It's just that it's not enough to give me 4 stars where I say I love it, because it's not a tea that I would crave. Like, there's some teas where I just can't wait to buy it again. And it's an excellent tea. It's 5 hearts for what it is.
Yes.
But for my personal thing, I'm giving it 3.5.
I can go with 3.5.
I have other videos on Grandpa Style, but we actually got these cups just for Grandpa Style tea, because you want a nice tall glass. I didn't fill it up all the way because the water's hot and I want to be able to touch it. I might add more water later. But what's so great about this is you can just forget about the worries of the world and just think about the tea. So you just I just dump some out. And we can just, there's several ways of doing it, but this is how I like doing it. So you just put it in and you watch it till it falls. Go ahead and start dropping some of yours in. And it's just like you're thinking about, oh, you put a whole bunch in. I like doing it one at a time.
Go team.
Ooh, that's a pretty one.
Yeah.
And taking a long time to do it. He's got a bunch in. And watching them move. Look how mine's just turning around and around. And it's going to end up turning into the leaves like this eventually. And Grandpa Style is basically using your teeth to filter the leaves out. But eventually, if it works like the other ones I've done, eventually they brew enough here that they will start sinking. Oh, look, this one's starting to sink.
Settle to the bottom.
You see it? It's starting to sink.
Yes.
Oh, you got a little bit of sinking. And it's very relaxing. It's like playing with your tea. And as you play with your tea, you forget about
Your cares and your woes.
Yeah, you forget about all the worries that you've got going on, and you just feel so relaxed when you're done. You gonna put more in? You're gonna have an awfully weak tea. Open the windows. It's so nice outside. I got a little bit of movement. Oh, look, you got one falling. There it goes.
Oh, man.
It's so relaxing watching them. Some down at the bottom. They look like little dragons floating around. That's what Dragon Well is. But this is not Dragon Well, but it's just as fun. I did this. Watch. Boom, boom. Well, that got us some action.